Not even really sure where to start here. Say hi to Mika. That's Pikachu. She's very camouflaged with the dirt. She almost matches it perfectly. That's Clark, my baby girl. He's my baby girl. Hi, puppy. Ah! And Gus is around here somewhere. Where are you, Gus? Oh, he's there under the trailer. Never mind my hair. It's like 100 degrees. And I don't have any power in the trailer right now. I fell asleep and woke up in a puddle of sweat, so I just feel icky right now. But let me kind of show you guys around how this is how I'm living. This is my trailer. My wife and I and my 3 dogs live here. We got our little setup going. There's no power, no water. I did finally get septic going, which is nice. I have a couple of TikToks that show me digging the septic lines here. So this property was burned down in one of the fires. This is in Northern California, and you can kind of see some of the property out here. And there's a burned down tree, and there's a whole lot of trees. It's about 3 acres, and I'm staying out here for a friend, trying to clean the place up, because he can't sell it until like some of the landscaping is done, and I gotta basically put in like fire prevention systems in terms of landscaping. The trees have to be thin, bushes need to be thinned, all of that fuel, which they call it fuel, these got piles of branches everywhere. I gotta chip those up and get rid of them and trim up all the trees. And so I've got like just a ton of work to do out here. And so the owner, being a friend of ours, said, yeah, just come out here, stay on the property for a while, get the place fixed up, and then we'll go from there. So it works for us. This is where I hang out and smoke too much. Got my helmet here, which I do have a motorcycle, and I hope to pinstripe that. Maybe that'll be another video, I don't know. But what I do is I run the generator and I charge my battery. This is an Anker Solix 3800 system that I have in here, and it's enough to run like the air conditioning, computers, stuff like that. Most of my lights in here, I'm not going to take you guys inside the trailer because it's filthy. That might be another like series of videos. And so when I do that, I'll probably make other videos, maybe of me cleaning in like a thong, thirst trap, let me know. Babies. I'm married though, but I know how to wiggle it. Anyway, so yeah, so I got my fences set up here. Oh look, got some solar panels. So this helps to charge the Solix during the day. It's not very many watts. These are like some old solar panels that the owner had laying around, and I hooked them up. And let's see here. Let's see what it was at 0% when I woke up this morning, and now it's at 11%. I've been running a fan on it. You can see I'm putting out 80 watts, and I'm getting about 180 from the solar panel. So it's gradually charging. But when my wife gets off work, I'll probably run this for a little while, charge it back up to 100%. That way we can play video games and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to the time when I get power out here and I don't have to run the generator anymore. Because I'll tell you, air conditioning is a beautiful thing, man. So anyway, let's take a look at some of the property out here. This is how I get This is how I get my water. I've got this water bladder here that I got off Amazon. It's like 50 gallons. I'll fill it up at my mother-in-law's house, and then I use this little pump here to transfer it into the trailer. And that usually lasts me 50 gallons. Usually my wife and I can get, 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, depending on how much water we decide to use. But so that's the RV life. But this property is originally supposed to be like subdivided into 2 lots. And this lot over here was originally going to be like the home site, the original home site, but the original owner decided to converge the 2 lots into one, and this was his shop. Was right here before it burned down. Got a little camper here for my son, so he can come hang out. I just brought that over. It belongs to my cousin. And this is some stuff from last year. I still got to take over to the mulch pit, excuse me. But all of this was just overgrown with weeds. And you can see there's a ton of blackberries here, which are an absolute pain in the butt to try and deal with. But I'm not gonna worry about them too much until later in the summer, after I've eaten all the blackberries. Because one of my favorite things as a kid was blackberry ice cream. And so I hope you can see a lot of these blackberries they're not quite ripe yet, but they're about to go gangbusters, man. Gangbusters. So bear with me here. I think I'm just gonna eat some blackberries for a minute. Oh, yummy. Nice and sweet. My favorite is when they're still hot from the sun. Seems like they're the sweetest of it. But so I gotta come out here and pick a bunch of blackberries too. And I gotta thin out these redwoods. And I gotta thin them out. Well, first I gotta limb them up about 10 feet off the ground for the. See, now I'm drawing a blank. I can't even remember what it's called. But basically, it's to remove the fuels. And then I am probably gonna have to thin out a couple of the little ones. Now, what I love about this property was so cool. It was illegal as hell because the original owner had built a series of ponds. Right here is where the runoff from rainstorms comes in here, and this will just be rushing. And he had it set up to come through here, which I gotta cut this stuff back more. You can't see it on video, but there's a culvert right there that goes to the upper pond. And then this is like an overflow thing he's got going on. None of it works anymore. It's all overgrown and defunct now, but he was trying to build like an energy a hydroelectric system. I weed-eated all of this, which took a while. And I gotta be careful. I'm trying to record, but there are rattlesnakes out here. I saw them earlier in the summer, but I think for the most part they kind of skedaddle a little bit, as they know me and the dogs are out here, and they don't really like being around people. But all of this was just fire waiting to happen. Big, tall weeds. It was all dry. And so I cut that down. And then I still have a bunch of this Scotch broom, which is an invasive all these trees here, that's called Scotch broom. And it's very invasive. Let me see, does this one have any? Yeah. So you see these seed pods? Each one of these pods has like 30 or 40 seeds in it, I think, give or take. Maybe not that many. I can't hardly see. Maybe like a dozen seeds, but you can see how many seed pods there are. And that's just, this whole tree is just laden with them. That's Scotch broom, Scotch broom, Scotch broom, Scotch broom, Scotch broom. So they've got these pullers. I've got to go through and pull all of these weeds, all of these Scotch broom weeds. These redwoods and cypress trees and stuff like that, they're fine, but I got to trim them up a bit. And then I've got this cool tree. I think it's some kind of I don't know what this is. If anybody knows what kind of tree this is, let me know. It's really pretty, white bark. But behind all of this stuff is a pond. And I got to get to it because I have a couple of turtles in the lower pond. And I'd like for them to be able to move freely between the upper pond and the lower pond. Hold on. Oh, I farted. That felt good. And so, oh look, man, see fucking Scotch broom everywhere. This is all Scotch broom right here. And it all needs to come out. I gotta chip this stuff up. And that's what I'm really procrastinating about because I don't like running the chipper. It's loud and kind of obnoxious. Ooh, yummy. Here's some good blackberries. And so I'm making this video because I don't want to do that, even though I know I need to. More Scotch broom. But this is basically the upper pond right here. We just walked around it. I don't know if you can see all those cattails in there. You can't see any water because it's so overgrown right now. But at one point it was really pretty. And then the fire came through and burned everything down. And now it's all overgrown and you can't really see anything. But I intend to get it back to its former glory. So let's keep walking here. All these thistles. Now, all of this is the stuff that needs to come down, and I haven't gotten this far yet because I got to keep chipping first. And I want to get the property lines done first so that the neighbors aren't at risk. Because that's the kind of stuff that'll get me in trouble with the county and the city. But I'm working on it. It takes time. But so yeah, here's a little road that kind of goes down to the east side. Excuse me. The east side of the property. And the original owner, I don't know a whole lot about him. But he's like, I've been coming across all of these big old chunks of steel and cable. I don't know what he did for a living. But apparently he had this old tree set up with a zip line from the top part of the property down to the lower part, or I guess down to here. And it just looks sketchy as hell to me, man. This poor tree is like leaning. It's got a bajillion cables attached to it. And I'm gonna have to get an arborist out here to come take a look at this thing, because that's beyond my skill set to take care of. But something needs to be done about it, because it's crazy looking, man. And I can't imagine the thing is very safe. I haven't even been able to get to it because the brush is so thick. I've been trying to make paths and stuff to different parts of the property so that I can see what I'm working with. But this here last year was all blackberries, Now we knocked some of it down, so because over the spring I was not at the property for about a year, and it just got overgrown again. But we knocked some of it down. Can you hear that? It's water falling, and that's so pretty to me. Blackberries. I love blackberries, but the bushes are a pain. Anyway, oh my God, look, that's gonna go nuts. I have so many blackberries here. Oh, fucking rad. I'm gonna have to get a picker and a ladder. I'm gonna need a ladder and a picker and a basket. So last year when the rain came, this area right here was just a torrential waterfall. Only when it's raining though. Then down there, where it comes out, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get that on camera. Probably can't see that. But that's the overflow pipe from the pond. And this is the lower pond right here. And it gets really pretty. Let me see if we can sneak up on the turtles. Hush. Yep, there's a turtle. Oh, he just went into the water. I got a couple of turtles here, and they freaking love it. But that's the lower pond, and more blackberries. So we needed a lot of this stuff, and I built like a little path up there because that was. But oh my God, look at all that bamboo and stuff. I gotta chip all of that stuff, at least enough to get into the mulch pit. And that's where I'm living up there right now. Kind of ghetto, but it's home. And then down here, I thought would get me to the creek. But right here, it just drops off into like a cliff. It goes straight down into the blackberries. And I'm not trying to fucking deal with that. So, what I was thinking, come around from the side and kind of traverse my way in there. So I started weed eating back into here, cutting down blackberries and stuff, and my son was helping me. I still got to deal with this giant tree. I bought a chainsaw because I wanted to keep going this way, but that was when I ran into this tree, and so I got to cut all these limbs down. I mean, it's a big tree. I cut these limbs down, and I'm going to try to save some of the wood. I know most of it's probably not going to be very good, but there's definitely enough to make like some bridges and stuff over the creek here and there. So if I can save it and cut some paths through, you know, kind of back and forth across the creek, I can build little footbridges, and that'll be pretty. Oh man, my son did a number out here. He cleared all of that, which is good. Trying to get down to the creek because it's so hot. It would be nice to just have a shady place to kick it. And we found, you see this grass? This is like, I don't know what the name of it is, but all of this right here is real swampy because it's a natural spring. And underneath both of those ponds, the upper pond and the lower pond, it's a spring. So it's got water year round, and then in the winter and in the spring and the fall when it's rainy, the ponds get all full and the creek really starts rushing. But this is about as far as I can get from here. We did cut a path down to the bottom part of the property But I'm not going to take you guys there right now. But look, you can see I've just been like walking around a little bit and I'm already dripping sweat. It's because it's like 100 degrees here right now. And kind of fat and out of shape. But we're going to get this place up to snuff, and it's going to be a really pretty property. There's some more over here. Hot dog, she's waiting. See the way she's looking at me? I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that means I'm dead meat as soon as I get back in there. She's gonna attack me. Hey, you settle down, dog. So this is like the upper part of the property. I was thinking it might be eventually a nice spot for a couple of peach trees and maybe a couple of apple trees. You know, just a little fruit orchard and hopefully some raised beds where I can grow some vegetables and stuff. And we do get a lot of deer up here. And they hang out all over here. They like to just kind of sleep out here sometimes at night. You can hear them breathing. But this is the pit. This is the compost pit, or the mulch pit, where I just toss everything in here. And there's no rhyme or reason to it right now. But eventually I'll have it on like a 3-year rotation kind of a plan going, and we'll turn all of these ugly weeds into nice beautiful compost. And then there's just shit like buried everywhere. Like here's all this fencing that got overgrown, some rebar. I gotta get to the bottom of all of that stuff. This tree needs to get chopped up. And this was fun. Let me tell you about this little area right here. Hold on. So about 2 weeks ago, I noticed there was a whole lot of poison oak growing around here. You see it. That's not poison oak. That's poison oak. It's hard to see now because it's all dried up. Okay, look right there. You see? Leaves of 3. 1, 2, 3. And, ooh, that's a bright one. 1, 2, 3. They're kind of oak shaped, but not totally. Look, this is fucking poison oak right here. Oh, that's poison oak. 1, 2, 3. And they're kind of glossy. The oils on the fucking leaves, man. Anyway, I was cutting it down. Bad idea. I have fucking poison oak everywhere. Everywhere. On my ankles, behind my knees, on my waistline, on my neck, on my elbows. Yeah, even on my junk. I don't know how it got there, because I was wearing pants and whatnot, but it just like fucking spread like crazy. And I was miserable. I'm still kind of miserable. I got like freaking poison oak scabs all over my arms now from itching. Try as I might to use like Caladryl lotion and whatnot, I couldn't help it. So I itched and it got fucking everywhere. Anyway, I did get a bunch of it knocked down. I still got more to go, but I'm thinking I might get a Tyvek suit or something, because I ain't dealing with that shit again. That sucked. And then all the way down there, I'm not taking you there because that's overgrown and it's full of poison oak. But eventually, if I keep making these videos, we'll be able to walk down there and see the whole property, and it'll be really pretty. Because the more I work on this place, the more stuff I uncover, the more beauty I notice in this piece of property. I mean, I feel very fortunate to be able to stay here, you know, with the ponds and the creek and stuff, and It's just peaceful out here at night. You can see the deer, and there's a little raccoon that comes around, and sometimes I'll feed him watermelon, and he seems to like that, or she, I don't know. But yeah, so this video should be a nice little introduction to any forthcoming videos that I intend to make, or hopefully lives, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of boring stuff. Trying to figure out, how do I make property management like this? How do I make it interesting? How do I make it exciting? How do I make you guys want to see it? Because I want to share it with you, because I think it's pretty. I want to share it. Anyway, peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out.